Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Julia, and welcome back to Just Chats with Julia. Today, on this episode, I have once again the oh so famous Samantha and Carson, and they're back for another one. In today's episode, we're going to talk about college. We are all college students, so I thought it would be very fitting for us to talk about college. So, first question, which is probably the most asked question that no one's asked, but is important for our talk. What college do you guys go to, and what year are you guys in college? I thought it was fitting. Why are you guys laughing at me? Calm down. I'm just trying to be a good hostess. Okay, so I'll start because I'm the host with the mostest. I go to FAU, South Florida. I go to the Boca campus, which is the main campus, and I'm in my technically, we're all in our third year, but because of credits and things, I'm a senior. So I'll be graduating this upcoming December.
I go to the University of Florida, and I'm a junior also, but I'll graduate next spring.
Exciting.
I'm at the University of Central Florida, and still third year, but graduating in like 3 weeks.
Whoop, whoop! My girl's graduating! Yes! That's exciting. Okay, so I guess with the next topic, which I guess we can talk about college in a little bit, like the specific school and like things like that, but what are we all majoring in? Mm-hmm. So I'm doing business, and I'm doing business management, general business management, with like a focus in like leadership, and I switched my major about like 3 times, and this is what we ended up with, so I'm doing great, I promise.
I'm doing accounting. I haven't switched my major at all, I think I started undecided business and then chose accounting and just kind of stuck with it.
And you like it, right? Yeah. Exactly. So that worked out for pretty well, you know?
Thank goodness.
I'm mechanical engineering, and I also have minors in biomechanics and math, and I've changed my major once. I was biomedical engineering, and then I switched to mechanical.
Okay, and we like where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Yes. I heard this joke and I thought it was pretty fitting just because you have so many degree things. You're like what frick? I don't even know the punchline. A temperature that
Thermometer?
Thermometers have lots of degrees. Sam's gonna have lots of degrees because she's super smart with all her things. Whatever. I tried. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We can move on from my failed attempt on a joke. So going back to the original topic, college, you guys are both away for college. Carson's about like 3-ish hours, and Sam, you're like 5 hours, and I'm like 30 minutes. So that's the calculations on that. And what were the thoughts? Like, do you guys really want to go to the school that you chose? Why did you choose the school that you chose? And are you happy with the choice that you made? Like, did you want to go somewhere else? That's the question.
So we're from South Florida, and I knew that I didn't want to stay at home, but I didn't want to go far away. I kind of wanted to be in the middle. So I was looking kind of between like Central Florida and lower. I knew I didn't really want to go any higher than that, so I didn't even bother applying to UF or FSU or anything up there. So I was kind of between UCF and FGCU. Those were the only 2 that I was like actually interested in. And then I toured FGCU, and I was like, absolutely not. It's very small. It's a good school, but it's just so tiny that I just could not see myself there. I felt like if I walked to class, I would recognize somebody, and I didn't want that. And then I toured UCF after, and I just fell in love with it. Like, I love how big this school is. Like, we have 66,000 students enrolled for undergrad. Like, our campus is huge. I love the fact that I can walk to class, and if I trip and fall, I won't see any of them. Like, that was a lot of it. And I loved it. The second I was touring it, I was just like, yep, that's it. I'm going here. And I don't regret it. I love it so much. I highly recommend it to everyone. Sam's little sister. Yes. And I'm very excited for her.
That's awesome. So you like being a knight, which is always fun. But once a night, always a night. That's where Carson's at. And I'm happy you like where you went. Love that first school sighting viewing And then Sam, what were your thoughts? How did that go?
So I wanted to go to University of Miami. Did not get in. So then I was between UCF and UF, and I originally was biomedical engineering, was like pretty set on it, was like, I'm not going to change my major. Like I was one of those people. I changed my major, but so UCF didn't have a biomedical engineering program. I would have had a major in like mechanical engineering and biomedical science, something like that. So I would have had a double major, and UF had a biomedical engineering program. So I basically chose to come here because of that, and then ended up changing my major. So in the end, it wouldn't have mattered, but I'm glad I came here and like got to experience having to go through the process of making friends, like not really knowing anybody here, because I think that was a really good experience for me. But yeah.
So you're happy where you're at now?
Yeah. We're
And
good.
you're a gator, right over left. Chop, chop. So I'm an owl at FAU, and my sisters never went out for college, so this was never a thought in my head. Like, didn't know it was like really a big thing until we got to like, I think it's like junior year where you start like deciding what you're gonna do, where you're gonna apply, and all my closest friends were all going away. So I was like, crap, like maybe I should be doing the same thing. But then per family and like circumstances at home, it wasn't going to be very viable. So then I did have a couple of colleges nearby that I could go to, but I knew that if I was going to stay home, I was going to go to FAU. My oldest sister, she went to FAU and she really liked it. She raved about it and she was really excited when I got in. So that's where I'm at. And I'm happy every once in a while. I'm like, crap, I wish I had gone somewhere else. But for where I was at that time, it wasn't gonna work out very well. So I didn't even bother to apply anywhere else. I applied to the FAU, got in, and I'm like, sounds great. So and I like it. Just the once in a while thoughts of like, oh, I wish I wasn't home. But we're fine. I love my parents.
It's a two-way street because like I have the same thoughts of like, oh crap, like should I have stayed home? Because like the amount of money that I'm spending on like the housing and just like all of it, you know. So I think like for people that stay home, they're like, crap, I wish I had the experience of going away. But then the people that go away are like, crap, I'm spending so much money. Should I have stayed home? So it's like very, I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to it.
Definitely not. I think it's not, it doesn't come down to this, but I think it kind of does, where it's like the money aspect of it. Because when you're home, like you don't have the stress of like paying rent, or if in most cases, you don't have that stress of paying rent or paying for food. Like you have everything provided for you. But the independence and the growth that comes from like going away and having to figure it out, like you don't have someone there cooking meals for you, like you have to plan that out, and like you actually have to pay for it. I'm getting that people are agreeing with my thoughts. So I think like of course there's pros and cons for both, so I think it does depend on every person and what they decide. A lot of people don't even think college is the right move, so if that's your choice, that's what you want to do, and maybe you're right, we don't know. But in the circumstances we were all in, I think we all chose the best of the choices, and I think we're all like satisfied with our choices too.
Mhm.
Carson, do you want to mention anything about food? Because I know that that's the big one.
I hate cooking. I hate having to think of things. I hate having to like just like being home is so convenient because I just get fed.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to do it. And my mom's just like, oh, this is what's for dinner. And I'm like, amazing. Like that's it. Like I just need someone to be like, this is what's for dinner. Make this. And I'm like, okay. That's it.
I think just because of that, though, I think it also is better since you guys aren't home. When you guys come home, your parents are most likely making the foods that you guys like. And you guys are like, here, like, eat this, Carson. Like, I hope you're being fed, Sam. Like, eat these things. Like, I've made it just for you. So I'm sure that, like, that makes family time a lot more. Like, you enjoy it a lot more because, like, it's the first time you guys aren't with your family.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Just shout out to our families. The next thing I wanted to mention, which I feel like I could be wrong, Carson, but I feel like Sam's probably going to take over on this one just because the next one is about clubs, organizations, sports. Me personally, not a part of anything. So I can't say, maybe sometimes I wish I was a part of something, but never was a part of anything in college and was very much involved in high school. I think all three of us, we were so extremely involved in high school, doing like all these things, all these extracurriculars, and like we crossed that stage hacked with all these like, what are they called?
Chords.
Chords. Thank you. All the chords. We had the bibs. We had it all. And then college hit, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Maybe a little bit too involved in high school to the point that I didn't want to do anything in college. I did one club and I'm still in it, but I joined post COVID. So I haven't like been on campus with the club. It's all like through Zoom and everything. So
What club is it? Is it for accounting or is it like something else?
NSLS. Like
Sam, what clubs are you in? Or what have organizations, sports and stuff?
I've gone through a lot of different clubs, tried a bunch of different things just because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to try things out. So there was a prosthetic club that I joined my freshman year, and then I quickly realized I don't want to do prosthetics. And so I'm no longer in that. But I started, after I ended that, I started doing research in biomechanics, which I really like, really enjoy. I've been able to try like 2 different things like within it, which has been really nice. For the most part, all the orgs have been engineering. So the main one that I'm like very involved in is engineering ambassadors, and we're basically like the liaison between the College of Engineering and like the
students.
The students, like the future students, the past students, and the current students. So we host events and we give tours to prospective students of the College of Engineering, which has been a lot of fun. But I haven't, unfortunately, been able to give an actual in-person tour because of COVID. But that's like my most involved org. But then I'm in a design team that works with the hospital here on campus, and then I do my research. And for the most part, those are my like 3 main things that I'm involved in right now.
Sounds pretty solid. Very, very smart of you. She's very busy, as we can all see. She's got a full schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty cool. Has there been any point that you're like Carson mentioned, like maybe we were too involved in high school? So was there ever a point that you guys were like, I wish I wasn't involved in high school and more involved in college? Or like, are you guys satisfied with being super involved in high school and where you're at in college now?
I mean, I loved being involved in high school. Like, I was NHS VP, and then I think I was in 4 other clubs at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of like school and AP classes and like just everything. Like, I feel like I was so busy in high school and I loved it at the time. And like looking back, I'm like, that was great because I had like a great experience and I had so much fun. And like we were all together and like doing like everything. Like, it was a great time. I don't really regret not being in any clubs in college. Like, I kind of am glad I'm not because it's like I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to like stress about it. Like, I do think it would have been like a good experience if I would have done like an accounting society, or like we have it's like BAP. It's like a business fraternity type thing. I think they definitely would have been like good experiences, but I'm also like satisfied not being in them.
Fair enough.
I think I was super involved in high school, and then coming into college, I still felt like I needed to still be involved, and so I was like trying my best to like. But in high school, I feel like it was more like volunteer like based activities, and then now in college, it's more like engineering focused involvement kind of a thing. But for me, like my involvement has helped me meet a lot of people that are in my classes, which is really helpful, and then like have like people to go and like ask like, oh, like which professor should I take for this, and like, or like different kind of things like that, like, oh, is this schedule, like am I gonna like literally hate myself throughout the semester, or like will I be fine? And I think that's kind of helped me a lot. But I feel like I'm still pretty involved in college in comparison to high school. I would definitely in more things in high school, but I think like the amount of time I spend doing clubs, like the things that I do, the time like balances out, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Sam, you're very much satisfied with like how much you're involved in both high school and in college.
Yeah.
Solid, pretty good. And I do agree. I think it is different. I feel like in high school it's a lot like volunteer based, and we all did it together, which is something that Carson mentioned. all the clubs we were in, we were pretty much all in it together. So it was just an extension of our day. And I think it helped us hang out more outside of school, but inside school.
Mm-hmm.
We were all there already, so like might as well just stay for an hour later. And for my case, I think I had it a little bit better because I live across the street from school. So I would literally like run back and forth and I'm like, I'm perfectly fine, like I don't really care. And I think it like filled up the time that I wanted to when I got to like get closer to other people and like get closer to teachers, but also like helped in general. In college, I did the same thing Sam did, which as soon as I got there, I was like, I need to participate. Like, I need to get involved. I need to do things like this is, it was still like so in me to do that, like, as soon as I got it, since my first semester, I was an architect or I was in architecture. I wanted to be an architect. All my classes were so epically long and I had so much work to do that I didn't have time to do anything. Like the time I spent on school campus was doing design work and doing all these things, and I didn't even love it. So that was one of the switches that I made. But besides the point, I'm not part of any clubs. I sometimes wish I was, but I agree with Carson. It's good not having to like stress and like worry about other things and like I'm I'm sure not all clubs have like things that like are very mandatory and like you can just volunteer here and there, but I'm sure a lot of other clubs are very demanding and like you have to participate and have to do things. So I go both ways, but I think right now for where I'm at, I'm pretty satisfied with like not joining anything. Maybe I should join something, but now we're not on campus, so
Like you worked also while you were still doing school. So I think that's different. Like that's also another time commitment that you had that like took away from maybe being involved. But like you were it wasn't like you weren't doing that. You were still like balancing working and doing school at the same time.
But on that note, yes, I as soon as I started college, I started working as well. They literally went hand in hand. So I do think that was probably another thing where I now we're talking about it, it reminds me of like when I started working, I was like, oh no, like what am I gonna do now? But all that time that I would have spent on like campus volunteering and doing that, I was getting paid. I was like working and getting money. So then I like my brain switched from like, oh wait, like this time commitment, I can get money off of it. And then I was like, oh no, I'm getting into like the business, like economy, the wheel thing. But I did like working when I started working. I feel like a lot of people start working really young, like they're 16 and they start working. I started working at 18 and I think it went well. It was across the street from my home as well. So it was very convenient. I really liked it. So I guess you're right. Maybe I shouldn't hate myself too much for not joining any clubs. I was still doing something.
Yeah.
My time was still occupied with something. But
I flip flopped. Like I worked junior, senior year of high school on top of being in 5 clubs, on top of having like AP classes and dual enrollment and family and friends and social life. But I feel like when I got to college, not having to work and not doing clubs, I was like, I'm free. It's like all I had to do was school. Like I felt like I guess maybe I was just so burnt out and exhausted from like how much I did those last couple years of high school that I was just so ready to not have any commitments like that.
and I do think it's different. Like, I feel like we did so much in high school and in college. You might have less classes or less things, but there's more stress upon those few classes. So, like, it's just different. It's like a totally different world when you get into college. So I think we all did what was necessary for the time and like where we were in our like life at that point, which again was like 3 years ago. But I feel like we've all changed so much since then. Not changed, but like evolved. Like we know ourselves more and we know like when we should or shouldn't do anything or like where we want to put our time and our efforts in. So I think it worked, kind of, yeah. And you like save money. You're doing big girl stuff too, so I think we're all doing well. Um, and then so we kind of mentioned this in the last episode, but for those people that didn't watch the last episode about friends in college, I think it's kind of hard to do, like make friends in college. It's not easy. It's not an easy task because if you want like a full length thing, go watch our last episode, like, subscribe, and comment. But as a little recap, it's tough. it's definitely different from when you're in high school doing all these clubs when you're all like with each other. And now we all go to different colleges, and it's hard actually making friends like where we're at. We've all had different experiences with that, and I think we'll continue to have different experiences where we end up going like after college and post college. But right now where I'm at, I have my few friends that aren't here all the time, but I love them to death and we make it work. And then the few people that are in college, I make friends like within that class, and after that, that's done. So I've had a few friends that I've tried to text after that and like keep it going, but there's always something. Either they're working or I'm working, or they have a class when I don't have a class. So it's a lot tougher. So that's something that I don't think I really thought about. I thought it would still like come at ease. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so good at making friends. Like I'll be fine. But it's different when you're in like high school, seeing these people every single day, like all the time. Like it comes easier than in college. Ladies, any like little thoughts you have? Which again, more thoughts in another video.
I also think it's hard when like there's a lot of times people come in with already having friends. Like
Mm.
then they already know each other, so you can't like it's hard to like kind of insert yourself into a group of people that already know each other. Like that's really hard. And then like so that like balance of like trying to find people like you're trying to find people essentially that don't already know other people or like you so you can kind of find like a place to like make your own kind of group because if people know each other then it can get like awkward and like it's then you're sitting there and they're like talking about things from high school or like whatever and you're just like I don't know what you're talking about like I wasn't there I didn't experience that and like that sucks.
That makes a lot of sense, I think, due to the fact that I think when you see the social media, it sucks at times. But I feel like you see that perfect group of friends where they like always hang out with each other. You actually know them in person, but trying to be a part of that group is hard because like you can't just like plop yourself into their group. Like they have a history, they have a bond that it's very tough to be into that. So it makes sense. You're trying to find other people that are in the same situation as you are, where you guys are all kind of new, all trying to figure it out, and you guys can also bond on that fact that you guys are new and figuring it out. So that makes sense. I like that point. Very smart point. And then the last two little questions, which one is going to be tough because I don't know the answer to it, but hopefully you guys know the answer to it. Plans after college. So I'm graduating. See, that's what I thought. I'm graduating in December. So I have a few months until then. And I have absolutely zero clue of what I'm doing with myself. Whenever someone asks me, it's like this whole thing where everyone always wants to know what's next. When you're in high school, everyone wants to know what college you're going to. When you're in college, like what major you're doing. When you're in college, where are you going after? There's always like this next thing that we have to chase. And I still have no clue. Like it's not like high school and like when you're in middle school, you obviously know you're going to high school. When you're in high school, the next step is college. College, you're just like into the real world, and I'm not ready for that. I am because I'm kind of over school right now, but like I'm not ready for that. I don't know what I'm doing. People have like whenever they bring that up, they're like, "What are you passionate about?" I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to be. I don't know. Like a lot of thoughts in my head. So, do you guys have any thoughts of what you're gonna do post college or like post when you guys graduate? Because we're all graduating at different like semesters. So, thoughts.
I am planning to go to graduate school. I want to eventually be a CPA, so I need 150 credit hours. So I figured might as well get my master's instead of like extend my bachelor's degree. So I'm in the process of applying for that. Ideally, I want to start summer, but I might end up starting fall. Don't really know yet. So that'll take a good year, maybe a little bit over a year. I mean, my boyfriend and I have been together for a long time. So we were just recently talking about places we would be open to moving after graduation because he's going to school in New York. I'm in Florida.
We love Kyle, by the way. We approve. Kyle approved. Go for it. Keep going. We really like him. Just saying.
All of our families in Florida. So we were just kind of openly talking about places we would be open to moving. And that's really it. I mean, career-wise, like CPA is the end goal. So once I'm done with graduate school, it goes on to CPA license and like the tests and studying that comes with that. But yeah.
Just seeing where it takes you. And hopefully Kyle's going to be done with school soon too. So you guys can start your own little life together, which is going to be so cute. And you best believe Sam and I will be there to go with the ride because we're just going to follow you guys around. Just be ready. Kyle, you're warned.
I am not sure at the moment. I've been tossing up the idea of going and getting a master's degree after I graduate, or going into industry and kind of seeing where that goes. My problem is I don't know what industry route I want to take. As a mechanical engineer, there's like different like divisions, I guess, kind of that you can do. I know what kind of fields and realm I want to go down. I just don't know where
Exactly.
like that's like it's such like an unknown. It's like such a big question mark. But yeah, I don't really know at the moment. I'm open to kind of either option, but I have been looking like more into going and getting masters as of recently, just because I'm not sure what I want to do.
Fair enough. So then you would still be staying at UF for that.
I'm looking at other.
My bad. Don't know how these smart people things go. My bad.
I'm looking at going to not staying at the university I'm at now. To go get a master's.
Where do you do that? Like,
But we'll see. That's like a really big commitment. But
okay, so figuring it out. We're all kind of just figuring it out because it's tough.
going with the flow.
It's going with it. And then the very last thing, which again, you guys don't know the questions, so as our conversation flowed and we talked and we chit-chatted, is there any suggestions for probably like incoming college students or like people that are like juniors in high school that are like deciding what college to go to, or like if they want to go away or if they want to like stay, like any suggestions that you wished you received when you were in this decision of deciding what college to go to? And then also like in college, like if you're a freshman in college, everything's new. What's your suggestions for those people?
I think as far as picking colleges though, I would say tour as many as you can. Don't necessarily apply to all of them because then you're paying application fees for colleges you might not end up going to. But definitely at least tour them, like look around, get a feel for the campus life, like how many people are on campus, if you want a bigger school or a smaller school or that kind of thing. I feel like that's the biggest one I would say. I kind of wish I would have toured more schools, but I also can't see myself at anywhere else except UCF. So.
Good idea. I like it. Nice thought. Nice thought. Sam, anything you wish like you did or just like, hey, for those kids, this is what to do?
Find something you like doing and do it. Like just go for it. And if you want to try and take on clubs, if you think you can handle that, like do it and try it. It is a great way to meet people. But yeah, try like see what you can handle. Also, like learning time management as soon as possible is probably that's the biggest piece of advice I could give, because that's important. Because once you figure that out, like you're good.
Yeah. The one thing I would say with time management is we all dual enrolled in high school, and taking like not just AP classes, but taking like an actual like college, like community college class online where you're not with the professor, like I think that helped so much with time management because I really learned like how to use the platform and how to contact a teacher if you're not physically in front of them all the time, and how to figure it out on your own to self-watch the videos, self-watch the lectures, like read your textbook, all of that stuff. So important.
For people that don't know what dual enrollment is, just in case, I don't know if all schools do this, but dual enrollment pretty much we were in high school and our high school like combined with the community college nearby offered classes for students. So those are free of cost for us. So we all got a little bit ahead in college classes. So it helped out financially and also like Carson said, it helped with understanding the system and how to use things and how to talk to professors, because though professors are different from teachers, they're kind of the same, but it's like two different worlds. So I think it does help a lot to just, if you can, it helps in many ways to just take the class, take 2 classes. So just in case you didn't know what that meant, definitely a suggestion to do. But I think that was all pretty good like advice. I feel like something to keep in mind going off of Sam's point, if you like something in your head, go for it. Even if that's not maybe what your parents want or what your friends are doing, just go for it, because if you're going to be happy at the end of it, you're going to most likely put more work into it. Because I feel like at this point in college and in this semester specifically, we're all kind of drained and like unmotivated to keep going because it feels like it never ends. So I feel like if you're very passionate about what you're doing, it definitely helps on keep going and not giving up on it. So just a suggestion, go do what you want to do, like, and money will follow, I'm sure it will. So just a thought, little cherry on top of that thought. But other than that, that's all my questions I had for college and what it was and what it's at and where we're at in college and our thoughts and suggestions. Again, you guys have any last minute thoughts? Let us know if you ever go to UF or UCF or FAU, because we'll be there. Not for too long. So if you're watching this later on, don't find us there because we probably won't be there. But if you're watching this as soon as it goes up, we'll probably be there. So let us know. If you go to one of those schools and have any suggestions, leave a comment down below. If you go to another school, leave it down below. If you have any questions about college, leave it down below. And if not, if you like this and you want to see more of both of them, pretty sure still Sam's on this side and Carson's on this side, just let us know. We're friends. We like each other. So if you guys have more topics that we can talk about and you guys want to listen to, let us know. We'll do those. Other than that, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more of these little episodes of Just Talks with Julia. And yeah, we'll see you guys later, I guess. Bye. What makes you happy? Thoughts, go.
I feel like it's hard to like pick like the time like to describe it. Like, in the moment, it's just like, oh yeah, like this is like I'm happy, you know.
When I submit something into Canvas, there's confetti. Easter Bunny called me up, and the Easter Bunny told me to do that for her. So
Like a positive outlook. If you're constantly negative and looking down on everything, it's going to be a lot harder to find happiness in the little things.
thumbs up, fun fact, brings us a lot of happiness. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.